The auto discovery process, besides collecting all the inventory data, it also collects all the topology relationship data. For example, the VLAN, the interface, the links between compute, storage, and the network entities, and it builds a very detailed dynamic topology map by doing the topology analytics. For example, as you see, this topology map belongs to a data center where all the entities across storage, network, and compute are connected with each other. By taking your mouse to any of the domain specific icon, you can see the corresponding data. For example, these are the storage devices. And by going to the storage device, you can look at all the details and how they're connected with different network entities. Likewise, if you take your mouse to network, it shows you all the network entities across physical and virtual layer, including routers, switches, load balancer, virtual switches, virtual routers, vload balancer, etc. If you take your mouse to compute, you will see all the compute devices, including every bare metal servers, hypervisors, the VMs, any hyperconverged infrastructure, and it shows you how they're all connected with each other. Each device is connected, and you can see the links between them that has meaningful information, including the source and target interface, the operational state of the link. You can also overlay varieties of operational data that is collected through Open API interface, performance data, the health information, ticketing information, log analytics by connecting with tools like Splunk. The data can be collected by the FixStream data collectors, or it can be ingested from your existing tools. For example, if you click on fault, very quickly it will show you in color coding in green, yellow, and red color the critical major and minor faults those are reported, and you can simply go to the device that has the fault associated with it, and you can further drill down into the details about that particular fault and see exactly what that fault is about. Likewise, you can look at the alert, and it will very quickly show you all the performance issues based on the threshold set by the end user and the operations teams. Varieties of alerts, for example, the CPU, disk, memory utilization alerts coming from different entities. Likewise, by clicking on ticket, you will see all the open tickets, and those are pulled from the ticketing system. You can also further filter this view by going to different devices on the left hand side and looking at vendor specific data within the topology or different device types on the left hand side. Once the data is collected and correlated on the topology map, the platform does a holistic view into your performance data across the domains. So if you go to the performance center, the platform creates a heat map across every entities to understand how different entities are being used relatively to each other. And based on the weighted score of 33.3% of CPU, memory, and disk, those are the input criteria to build the heat map. It shows you in a score of 0 to 100 different devices, and a score is assigned to them based on their utilization. For example, these are all the different VMs within the environment, and this subset of VMs falls into the 10% category. These are the 20% category, 30%, and so on and so forth, and that shows you how well the VMs are utilized, and that gives you enough analytical insight to understand the overutilization and underutilization scenarios within your environment, and you can accordingly optimize your resource allocation from there. You can also use this analytical view to do workload placement. For example, if I have a workload that I need to deploy that is memory intense, you can simply change the input criteria for the heat map to make memory as 100%, and immediately the heat map is recomputed based on memory, and you can look at the VMs which are very low utilized on memory, and they have a lower score, are perfect target candidate for that workload placement. Whereas on the right hand side, you can look at these VMs have a 98.94% score. Those are consumed heavily on memory, and you can further drill down into the details and look at a historic trend of the memory utilization of those VMs. So this gives you the analytical input for you to do your resource planning, optimization, and management. Likewise, the IP address view gives you the detailed insight into the operational data, such as your performance metrics, different thresholds, and alerts are based on the threshold that you have set. For example, if you go to the device view, device type, you have two different devices types. Compute gives you the performance metrics of all the servers. You can click on them and you can go into details, and different metrics are readily available for you across CPU, disk, and interface and memory. Likewise, if you go to the network device type, these are all the different network entities, and you can further drill down into them to understand the performance characteristic. For example, the availability metrics, the CPU, all the interface utilization across all the Ethernet port. For instance, you can click on them and you can look at all the meaningful interface utilization metrics being collected by the platform, and it is processed to give you the time series view into their health. The service metrics shows you all the details about the application service and the performance metrics. Those are collected from different service performance monitoring tools that you may have, such as Nagios. Storage view provides you the performance metrics of different storage entities: LAN, volume, port, controller, aggregate. You can set threshold, and then those become alert accordingly. Likewise, availability metrics shows you the overall availability of different entities, either a compute, storage, or network device. Likewise, the config management is something that can be set by your operations team, whereby the network configuration data can be collected and it can be stored in our time series database, and it can be analyzed to understand the difference that shows you if a config change has happened, and that becomes an alert and can be used as one of the input for troubleshooting. We also provide you with an operational dashboard whereby this data is readily available based on the critical events and alerts that needs to be used to take actions. For example, you can quickly see the critical events that include the fault and alerts. You can see a health score for compute and network that shows you how healthy each of the domains are, and that is calculated based on the different events being collected over time. And you can look at all the different tickets; those are open for different domains, and also the top used devices. So this gives you that landing zone for you to quickly understand different operational behavioral issues that you need to take actions on. In summary, the FixStream platform provides you the infrastructure insight that is highly correlated, and different operational data is correlated on top of the topology map to understand the dependency, the root cause of events that is causing issues in your business application. Thank you.